hello, moin and welcome. My name is Lisa, my pronouns are she, her, and this is Linguistic Stitches, a channel about cross-stitch. Welcome or welcome back. Today is a Flosstube Extra, where I'm going to show you my picks for this year's Animal Weirdos Stitch Along, and also a few runner-ups and some ideas for you if you would like to join me. What is Animal Weirdos Stitch Along? This is my third year doing this. In the month of August, and well, in every month really, I like stitching on animals, and especially on animals that are not your regular cute cat or bird. Not that I don't like stitching birds or cats, but I do have a soft spot for animal weirdos and for weirdos in general really. So what I like to do is concentrate in the month of August on a bunch of starts for charts that have weird animals of some kind in them. Doesn't mean they have to be scary or creepy or what have you. They can be like in funky colors, the funky art style. Maybe it's a sampler with a very wonky deer. Maybe it's an animal in clothing. Maybe it's an animal doing human stuff. Maybe it's something completely different. Maybe it's an anglerfish, and I think anglerfish are very weird gals in general, because you know it's the females that are the iconic form and stuff. I mean, the males are also very weird, but if you think of an anglerfish, you're thinking of a female angler. You're not here to hear me talk about anglerfish. You're here to hear me talk about weird animal patterns, maybe. So, like I said, I'm going to show you my picks for starts this year. I'm not going to show you my picks for the last few years and my finishes. I think I have finished everyone so far. Yep. That is maybe for another time, if you're interested in that. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you my picks and then afterwards some more ideas, some runner-ups. The plan is to start a new pattern basically every weekend in August, so that I could have some time to concentrate on stitching that pattern. And we're going to start with a big one. This is not going to be my first start for August. This is basically my my birthday start proper, but I'm not sure how much stitching I'm actually going to get on my birthday weekend. No matter, this is what we're talking about, All Things Wise and Wonderful by Heartstring Samplery. This has been a new release at this year's Needlework Market. And see, this is what I mean. This is a classic sampler basically, but the closer you look, the more you look, the more very weird animals you see, right? There's the wonky giraffe. There's a lion giving the thumbs up, which I love. There's buffalo. There's an anglerfish, there's lemurs, there's an axolotl, a narwhal, you name it. They're all here, and I love them all. This is a huge chart, and I just recently had thought about actually ordering the flosses and fabric, and I'm very glad that it's all here now, or most of it is here, yeah, so that I'm ready to start this soon. I'm so looking forward to doing that. And I'm going to get to stitch everything twice, because this is a symmetrical sampler. Not sure how I feel about Adam and Eve, but I'm just probably going to put them in as is, because I'm too lazy to figure out something different. Oh, I'm so looking forward to stitching the seagulls. Look at the seagulls. Yeah, so this is the big one. I try to find a good mix of big and smaller patterns for the month in which I start a lot, so that I don't end up at the end of August with like 10 very meager starts on huge patterns like this one. So this is the biggest pattern by far that I'm going to start. This is a very small one, very cute. This is the Prairie Fairies from the Prairie Schooler. You can get them all in one chart with the 5 fairies, or you can get them all as individual cardboard charts. I am doing the snail, and this is also apparently called the Garden Fairy. Yeah, garden fairy. I was also looking at frog fairy. That is not a very creative name. Yeah, but I'm going to start snail fairy. See, this is another like genre of Animal Weirdos cross stitching. Animals being ridden. That's not the best way to say that, but like there used to be a tiny rider SAL where you would stitch stuff with people riding animals that are like too small, that are not horses, right? Like here. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean, right? Okay, so these all would make very great additions for the Animal Weirdos SAL, but I'm just doing this one. I think I'm going to start with this one. Very cute. Yeah, so, and then these two are very special to me, the next two that I actually have here, because I am finally going to start actually stitching from my beloved Danish vintage cross-stitch calendars. If you're new to this channel, I do have a particular fondness for a line of cross-stitch calendars that have been published since 1960 by the Danish Handcraft Guild, Handarbejdet Fremme, and every year they have a theme, and I especially love the vintage ones that are like, they have very funky themes sometimes and very interesting patterns. So I have picked two, and I am very glad to say that for both of the patterns that I picked, I could rope in a stitchy friend each to start along with me. And the first one is, let's start with this one. This is the first calendar I got, and 1980, Årets Korssting, and the topic is, the theme for the year is birds and bees. And I am going to stitch this one. I love this calendar so much. It's so cute. And there's a bunch of patterns in here that have one of my favorite genres of weird animal cross stitch, that is animals that are too big for their surroundings. Like here, this hopo is very big and it's so colorful, and I love the colors on the fuchsias. And for this, I was able to rope in Anvys from Sleepy Goblin Crafts. They are going to start a different pattern from this calendar, which I also very much love and want to stitch eventually. Wait, where is it? Where is it? That has a blackbird and... yeah, there we go. Here, this one. Isn't it precious? Yeah, that is the one that Anvys is going to start. Very glad to have them started with me. These are charted in HF flower threads that are sold by Handarbejdet Fremme. And I do have, I need to get that up still, I think I do have all of the Danish flower threads for the hopo. But it's easy to find conversion charts to DMC and Anchor if you do not have access to the Danish flower threads. They're nice. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so, and there's the second calendar that I'm going to start something from, and that is the 1971 calendar. I have talked at length about this special calendar. In fact, I do have Flosstube extras with flip throughs for both of these calendars. This one is the 1971 Handarbejdet Fremme Årets Korssting calendar, and this features cross-stitch designs in the vein of Amager cross-stitch. Amager is a peninsula, I think it's a peninsula that is, I think, part of Copenhagen, and it is a settlement by, well, it was originally settled by Dutch settlers that were asked to settle there by the Danish king, and they brought their own customs with them, and they stitch in this very distinctive style with a lot of doodads and stuff. And as chance would have it, I'm also going to start the cover design from this one. I did not plan it that way. It's just that I really like that chunky horse. Wait, let me find the design in the calendar actually. Where is it? Should have bookmarked it. I'm sorry for the delay. While I'm looking for the horse, I can tell you that the Stitchy friend who's going to start that with me is Eli from Thick Threads, actually, who also has bought that calendar. He found that at a thrift store, I think. Or he got it on, I don't know, he has it, and I'm very glad he's going to start that with me. So in the calendar, you can see there's the same horse with the, yeah, that's the exact same design, but in a different colorway. I like the colorway from the cover better, the red one, not the muted colors here. And there's another thing that's special about these pieces. If you look very closely, you can tell that the, I hope it focuses on the design. You can see that this is a bit knobbly, a bit crowded for a regular cross stitch. That is because it's not regular cross stitch, it is long cross stitch, where you stitch every cross over 2 threads in height, but 4 threads in length, basically. Yeah, so that means that you're doing very directional stitches, and that is indicated on the chart, and I'm very interested in trying that. I have not kitted up this yet, and I won't be doing that with the cold flower threads. I'm just going to go through my anchor stash. So those are the 4 patterns that I have with me here in physical form. I'm very glad that I'm going to finally start something from my beloved calendars. The 5th start that I have planned is Perky Lion by Marroomy Designs. I love her Carpet Menagerie series. I have stitched 4 of the other animals so far, I think, and this year, this August, I'm choosing Perky Lion. I have stitched the camel earlier this year, and I usually stitch them 1/1 on a 28 count mystery linen that I have just from somewhere, with a variegated anchor thread, and I am going to use the same thread that I used on the camel, I think. You're going to see all that in my August wrap up. Yeah, so those are my plans. Oh no, I have another plan, depending on depending on my mood, because 5 starts is a lot, 5 planned starts is a lot, because especially since I've been starting so much lately. So if I feel in the mood for more starts, I have planned on stitching Oarfish by Sprouting Lupine, which I love. This was part of the Spellbound Stitches Under the Sea collaboration from last year, but I think that this has been released now by Sprouting Lupine. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's available, because Oarfish are awesome and extremely weird. See, this is not a weird design in itself, it's just that Oarfish are absolutely wild. So these are my immediate plans. Let's see if I can, if I fall into more rabbit holes here. So that brings me to the runner-ups / suggestions for you. I am trying to keep this relatively short. If you let me, I will talk to you about weird animal charts for hours, and I don't have the time for that. Today is Sunday, July 19th, and I want to log on to Midsummer Stitch later. So let's see. In the past 2 years, I have started, oh no, not necessarily for August. Well, I had planned on starting another animal pattern by Studio Ansitru in her cowboy series. That's what I'm calling it. She doesn't call it that. But I have stitched He Claw and Beehaw before, and I was thinking about starting something else from that line, which I really love, and I would love to live vicariously through any of you who would choose to start like Ye Caw or something. What else? I had been thinking about starting Pink Menagerie by JedXStitch. I love basically every design that Jessica puts out, and Pink Menagerie holds a very special place in my heart because it's so cute and it's so wonky and so weird, and I love it. Yeah, so that would be another suggestion for you. And now let's see if I can, I don't know the best way to do this. I don't particularly feel like putting in like a dozen of screenshots in here. Maybe we'll just, yeah, we're going to have to do that. Okay, so my suggestions for you for either particular designs or designers to check out, I'm going to put them here as screenshots, and then also I'm going to put them down below in the description box, because I have a few suggestions. For very different types of designers. Okay, first up on my list is Acorn friend from Lola Stitches. She has this very cute design where different critters are stitching on stuff. That would totally qualify. It's a very cute piece, and you could totally just pick just the raccoon. You don't have to stitch the whole piece. I mean, you could if you would like to. I also think the new stitch along from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery totally qualifies. It's about the circus, and so far I've seen an extremely cute lion jumping through a hoop, and then also an extremely cute hippo ballerina. So, no, she's not a ballerina, she's a tightrope walker, I think. Yeah, so that totally qualifies. Then there is Velcro Stitches, who is a new to me designer, and they have several pieces with animals riding on other animals, which I adore. Yeah, so that would be a very good choice. And they seem to be smalls. All right, you could have your pick from Fine Frog Stitching. I think especially her SALs over the last year or two would qualify very well with the nice, like the one with the crows, for example, in the nice ornate frames would be perfect. Another idea would be, of course, well, look at the other Marroomy Designs pieces from her Carpet Menagerie series. They are great. The Blue Flower has a bunch of actually very weird animals. She's got the pattern with the animals going camping, and I think she has some Halloween patterns with the animals dressing up in different costumes. If you're in the Summerween mood, that would totally qualify. Then also there are some designers that maybe jump to the front of your mind. That's not an expression. I don't know. That that you would think of when you think about weird animals, like Mama Witch Cross Stitch or Anvy Stitch. They have a bunch of stuff. For JedXStitch, I also noted down the frog, the scorpion and the frog. That's also very weird, mostly because of the style and the colors. One contender that I had before I found All Things Wise and Wonderful was I would love to start one of the red ships by Ink Circles. I have been looking at the big red ship of life because there's a bunch of animals, especially in the water down there. The water creatures look all like they are total weirdos. I would love to stitch that. Maybe that's for next year. Then there's Boomerang Stitches. She also has a whole line of animals dressing up for Halloween, I think. And also Freak for the Beak is a very fun pattern that is extremely weird and full of animals. The Stitch Crypt has a whole line of spooky snails that would also work for your Summerween wishes. Just like Twisty Thread. Her snails are not spooky, but they're also very fun and weird. I think she mostly designs snails with pastry shells. I don't know if those are the only types of snails she's designing, but those are some of the snails she has. Then Lindy Stitches also has a few weird animals. In the past, I have stitched her Menagerie piece for my for Animal Weirdos Stitch Along. Also, I think most Menagerie pieces would qualify. I think Carriage House Sampling has some basically Menagerie-esque patterns. I don't know if they're called that, probably not. There's one with the London Zoo, and then there's, oh, what's it called? In the Home, on the Farm, and in the World, or something like that. That is a bunch of very wonky animals. Yeah. And then in the past, I've also started several of the charts from the Cookie Cutter series by Kathy Barrick, which I think are extremely fun and also super weird. Also, of course, you can have your pick from the Quirky Quaker Design series by Darling and Whimsy Designs. For example, the anglerfish or the giraffe or whichever one you like. And then last on my list is Stitch Sprout. She has a design going on right now, a stitch along going on right now with animals waving from windows, I think, which looks extremely fun. And she has a bunch more with fun animals. Those are just the ones, like I said, just the designs and designers on my list right here. But you could also pick, I think a lot of designers have, like me, a fondness for weird animals. I think the Bad Stitch series with the naughty cats would also work great because they're all a bunch of weirdos. Yeah. Yeah, so those are a few of my suggestions for you. Let me know if you would like to stitch along and what you would like to stitch on. If you're stitching any of the patterns that I've shown today or something completely different, I would love to hear it. And the basic rule is, if you think an animal is a weirdo, even just on the inside, they totally are. I'm not judging. So if you'd like to join me, put it down in the comment or DM me on Instagram. And if you're posting on Instagram, you can use the hashtag Animal Weirdos SAL and tag me. I would, of course, love to see all of your weird animals. So that's it for me today. I will see you at the end of July for my monthly update. Until then, happy stitching. Bye bye.